Welcome back. You have been watching Families for Heaven, and we're talking about ingredients that build a happy marriage. We're so happy that you took the time out to join us in our discussion on building stronger marriages and stronger families. Tell us a little about yourself and how long you have been married.
First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting us to be here. It's our pleasure. My name is Lisette. I'm here with my husband, Julio, tonight. And we are from Harvest Church. We are being married for 36 years by the grace of God. And we are so happy to be here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any children from the lovely marriage?
Yeah, we have 6 children and 4 beautiful grandchildren.
Thank you. Well, it is obvious, Dr. June, that this lovely couple must be doing something wonderful. Every day we hear about marriages lasting for a year, some 4, some 5, but not a long time. They have 30 how many? 36 years. And that speaks volume in this day and age. What are share with us some of the ingredients that you put into your marriage that allow it to survive these many years?
By the grace of God, as I said, we are being married for 36 years. We got married at a very young age. Through the years, we learned a lot of things. We have our upside downs, and we learn from that. And we learn ingredients as how to communicate, how to spend time together, how to respect each other.
So I hear you say, first of all, you learn how to communicate. Dr. June, Virginia Satir speaks a lot about communication and the communication theory. Could you address that for us as it relates to its importance in a marriage?
In fact, it is said that communication is the #1, it's on the top of the list of major problems that cause family dysfunction or disruption. So for all the things that people have problems with, communication is one. So if you've mastered that, you've probably been ahead of the game. But yes, according to communication theorists, there is nothing called no communication, that all families communicate, even when they withdraw and go silent. They call it the silent treatment. The fact is that they are communicating ineffectively, but they do communicate. So if you're developing the good methods of communicating, clearly you have learned well.
Anything else you'd like to share with us?
We usually spend time together, and we usually like to take a walk, and it's when we try to speak to each other about the problems, our happiness, about everything.
So you go for leisurely walks.
Yes.
And these
Sometimes we are doing something together in the kitchen too.
Okay.
You know, yeah. And sometimes map and wash the dishes too.
You know, I like
to
what
help her, you know.
Good.
That's good. I like what he says about helping in the kitchen, you know. You know, I have my limitations there, but I do try.
One of the ingredients in a happy marriage is to admit your limitations.
Julio, I admire what you said about working in the kitchen, because oftentimes men tend to think, there's a stereotypical thinking into believing we're not supposed to help in the kitchen, and sometimes that creates problems. So I can see how that helped to strengthen your marital relationship over the years.
And it's good modeling for your sons, so that they learn that you help your wife with the chores, washing dishes, mopping the floor, and doing all the things that needs to be done at home.
We also say positive words to each other. We never call names. We respect each other as much as we can.
That's nice.
So even if you get upset, you speak to the issue and not attack the person.
When I get mad, when I'm very disappointed, I stay quiet. I don't say anything, so he knows. I say, it's not time to talk. Give me a break. We're going to go back to this.
And that's a good strategy. You're protesting and you're recognizing that there's a problem. And you are saying, we've got to talk about this. But right now, you're not feeling calm enough to talk. And so you'd rather not talk at that point, and then you'll talk later. So you don't say the wrong things at that point.
And that is crucial. That is very important. It's a beautiful ingredient they're mentioning here, because sometimes we like to speak in the spur of the moment. We like to talk when we're angry, when we're upset. We want to fight back right away. And it's not always the best strategy to maintain healthy marriages. Put that ingredient in. Know when to say what and know how to say it.
We also say affirmation words, positive way to each other.
Kind words to each other.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So you do affirmation.
Affirmation.
Okay, so he would tell you, what would you tell
For
her?
example, when he is cleaning the kitchen, even if he doesn't do the way how I do it, I learned that I have to thank him for helping me.
So you say, thank you, I really appreciate
Yes.
that you're helping.
Yes.
So
And that encourages him to keep trying.
Yes.
what if you see her dress up like she has a nice hairdo or a beautiful dress? What would be your response?
When I see her beautiful, I said, looks beautiful. Yes.
That's nice. That's very nice.
And we're saying that that is an essential ingredient. You want to appreciate and affirm each other daily.
Marriage sometimes is not as difficult as some people tend to make it. It's because we are not putting in these ingredients that we are talking about that sometimes make it so difficult. Dr. June, could you share with us some more of the things that we can put into our marriages to make it wholesome and happy and long-lasting?
I think one of the important principle is that couples first must be friends. I find that we relate to our friends so nicely, so kindly. We look out for their interests. We spend quality time with them. The things that make us happy, we want to share with them. So when your spouse is your friend, your best friend, then it's easier for you to relate in a friendly way. But if you have a friend, a best friend outside of your spouse, then your spouse is discounted. So I think it's essential for us to recognize that there has to be mutual fulfillment between each other, and we're meeting the needs of the other.
Well said. I would also add that each individual needs to be emotionally healthy. Many times, individuals go into a relationship hoping that they will become whole as a result of that relationship. Now, Dr. Smith, we talk about some of these things that help to make marriages wholesome. But what if a family is watching or listening and those ingredients are not there? They once had them, but they have disappeared. The question is, can those ingredients be regained?
Again, when you are married, your commitment should be to stay married and to stay in a happy state. So that if you've gotten to a point in your relationship where you find that your marriage feels dull and that there isn't much passion and that the things that you've been accustomed to do for each other isn't happening anymore, then yes, you can take responsibility to turn it around. We turn around large corporations. We're trying to turn around the economy of the world. We can turn around our marriages. It takes a committed, dedicated, intentional effort on both parties' part.
And I'd like to take you to the good book, the Bible, and share with you a text in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And I'm going to share it from the New Testament in modern version. It says, love is patient and kind. That's powerful. Patient and kind.
It is essential that when you are in a relationship, that you cannot carry grudges. You can't exercise envy of the other person. In fact, you are your spouse's best friend, so that you can't be jealous of your partner. Your role in a relationship is to support and elevate your partner, your spouse.
Love is not forward or self-centered. Narcissism cannot reside within the heart. You have to be open, you have to be free, and you have to be honest with each other.
In a marriage, there's no space for boasting and conceitedness. One partner might be much more talented than the other, may have skills that can outdo the other, but the role of that partner is to complement your spouse so that together as a team you win.
Can love be rekindled? You both have been married for a long time, 36 years, a lovely family. What will you say to them? Can you give them anything that would say, yes, love can be rekindled, or can it not be? Can it?
Definitely it can, Dr. Smith. We compromised ourselves a long time ago that we're going to stay together in a healthy marriage, happily. We are not a perfect marriage, but we're going to try our best. And we're going to be growing in our longest marriage.
Beautiful.
First of all, we have God in the center
Beautiful.
of relationship.
Powerful.
So clearly, you're suggesting that spirituality is one dimension in a relationship that keeps the marriage stable.
Definitely. We also compromise to pray together, to spend more time praying every single day, morning, afternoon, evening, and that help us to strengthen our marriage.
No wonder the adage says a family that prays together stays together.
Yes.
And that is so true. To rekindle love in a marital relationship, both parties have to have what we call a non-judgmental attitude. If you start judging each other, you're not going to be able to rekindle love. You have to have this non-judgmental attitude where you show respect for each other and not judging each one.
And another thing, Dr. Smith, do good things to each other. Once in a while, Julio surprised me at work. He knows I'm very busy, I'm working hard, and probably I'm not going to have a time for lunch. So he brings me lunch. So I love that because he surprised me. He makes my day.
Oh,
Very nice.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we are trying, you know.
And I'm
Well-
sure that it is mutual. That
Yes.
there are times when you will surprise him as well.
Yes. Sometimes I'm calling him from outside and I say, Julio, can you step outside? And he goes, why? Because I am outside.
That is nice. So you pop in at work
Yes.
and surprise him.
Yes.
Very nice.
Is it possible for two people who are not experiencing the love they once had, that they could rekindle that love by start dating over?
That is what happens usually pre-marriage, where there is so much passion in that process, in that dating stage. So certainly, if they can recapture the essence of what brought them together and, as it were, strike the match all over, then they're likely to rekindle the emotions that brought them together. And of course, they want to process what is it that we have committed ourselves to. And once you cognitively establish that you have meaning and that your relationship has a significant reason to be and to exist, then you're likely to find enough ingredients to stay together.
I think a good motto to live by is don't quit, recommit. Don't walk away from your marriage. Recommit to the health of the marriage. Every marriage needs to be maintained. We call it marriage maintenance. For these people to have had a marriage going for 36 years and you look as if you're going to have many, many more years to go. They must have maintained the marriage. How can one maintain their marriage?
I think like all other institutions, you know, we take responsibility to do upkeep. We maintain our cars, our lawns, our hair. We take responsibility to groom the things that needs to be maintained. So it is in our marriage. We know the things that each other like. We take personal pride in each other, and we're personally enhancing. And we do all the things that will certainly build the other person up. As long as you're constructive in your relationship between each other, then the building, the institution of marriage will last, will be strong.
We have been talking about the ingredients of a happy marriage, and there are several things we have mentioned. The number one thing that we want to mention, however, is to make sure you let God be the center of your life. We cannot get away from what the psalmist says, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. May God bless you.